Aside the high interest rates and the falling fortunes of the city, there are also business bottlenecks and bureaucracies. The NDC manifesto has stated clearly that we will reduce bureaucracies, promote transparency, simplify administrative and regulatory processes, and above all, uphold the rule of law in business. For me, these are key aspects of promoting business, a clean business environment. How would you help the government of the NDC to implement this, to promote business? Thank you.
Thank you very much. It is correct that cost of doing business in Ghana is high. Cost of production is equally high. And so, under a 24-hour economy policy, the government is going to do some interesting things that reduces the cost of doing business and cost of production. Government will be looking at time of use metering, because industry players have complained about the cost of electricity. And with the 24-hour economy, the time you use electricity will state how much you will pay. If you are using electricity in the evening, you are paying less. If you put all together, you are reducing the cost of your electricity and water. And so, cost of production will come down. Again, with the 24-hour economy, you'll be producing more. And you know, the more you produce, the cheaper it is. As we speak now, most industries are running one shift. And even in the one shift, they are not able to produce to full capacity. With the availability of...
Honourable members, order. Let's listen to the nominee in silence.
With the availability of raw materials, we'll be able to feed our industries. You know, these companies live because they have to import raw materials. And so if you put all these things together, in addition to the fact that as for the rule of law, you know, it's synonymous to Excellency John Dramani Mahama, perfect. And in this case, I'm stating his attributes. It is not in comparison with anybody. 100 people can be good. He's good, and he's synonymous to the rule of law. So you see, anytime he's in power, you can go to bed with the issues of rule of law. Transparency is going to happen. At the Ministry of Trade, there will be a desk for facilitation so that people who want to do business will get their trade issues facilitated easily. I think all these put together, trade will boom. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Any further question?
Yes, one more. Honourable Chairman, and thanks for indulging me, Chairman. Council, I just want to pick up on where my good friend from Commander ended. And growing up, you would hear Operation Feed Yourself. You hear eat what you grow and grow what you eat. In recent times, we've had our import bill of sugar and other food items rising so high. Again, the NDC manifesto clearly stipulates an agenda of made in Ghana. And for me, this is one surest way of curtailing some imports to the system. How would you help promote the Made in Ghana agenda? Thank you.
Thank you very much. If we eat what we grow, our imports will come down. And so if a lot of people were eating yam like I do, the importation of rice will come to a barest minimum. If they enjoy plantain fufu like I do, then the importation of other products will come down. And so we are going to encourage ourselves to eat what we grow. You've also spoken about the promotion of Made in Ghana goods. I'm excited to tell you that when I was Ghana's Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, I did this big time. I promoted made in Ghana goods in Ghana and out of Ghana. Anytime we did our fairs, I invited some industry players to come with me to showcase what we have as a country. I'll even do it better and on a larger scale when I'm giving the nod to become Ghana's Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. But I'll also encourage Ghanaians to wear what we produce, to patronize made in Ghana goods. If that happens, again, our importation of some of these foreign things will be minimal. I thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, I wish a nominee success. Thank you.
Very well. Honorable Deputy Whip.
Congratulations, Leonard.
Thank you, colleague.
I think your composure has been very good so far. I just want to ask, there is a spare parts dealer in my constituency. It's popularly known as Anson 1. He has Anson 1. He has few complaints, one of which is high port charges, high cost of spare parts, and he also talks about shipping cost. And that actually culminates into people unable to purchase spare parts and leading to accidents because they are unable to replace some of these spare parts. How do you intend to address this problem?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, on your behalf, to Anson 1 and people in his trade, I will act as an intermediary between the private sector in trade and the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Transport, to work all these things out. Because no ministry is a stand-alone ministry. In this respect, the Ministry of Finance is key and the Ministry of Transport is also key. So working together, we hope to come up with things that mitigate their cost and make business interesting for them. I thank you.
Mr. Chair, just a follow-up. Mr. Chair, just a follow-up. So do you, in particular, have some arrangements in mind for spare parts dealers in Ofosu and what have you?
It is part of our 120-day delivery, where we talk of scrap vehicles and how to work on the law vis-a-vis our climate change responsibilities in our new automobile industry. And then, fortunately, there are industries that are coming up that produce some of these spare parts in Ghana. We also encourage them, give them what it takes for them to also come up with some of these parts locally. Thank you.
Your second question.
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you very much. So my second question is, given the significance of the African Continental Free Trade Area, how do you plan to maximize Ghana's position within the regional trade bloc to boost intra-Africa trade? And what specific actions will you take to support the Ghanaian businesses in taking advantage of the opportunities under the African Continental Free Trade Area, particularly in the context of improving trade relations with neighboring countries?
Thank you very much. 1.4 billion people, a total GDP of 3 trillion. It is excellent that we leverage on AFTA. Because if you are able to do this, we are going to improve our various economies. I hope to do this by capacity building. The Honorable Speaker asked, we had an informal discussion previously about AFTA.
Honorable nominee, His Honorable Stephen Amwa.
I think her own parents call him Sticker. He said it. So Honorable Stephen Amwa, sorry. Dr. Stephen Amwa, popularly known as Sticker.
Very well.
Yes, we had a discussion about AFTA. Honorable Chair, some of the things that we need to do to take advantage of AFTA is capacity building. Most of our companies don't even have capacity to do this. Two, is to synchronize some of our laws. You know that even though we say free movement of goods and services, some countries have banned the importation of a product that you want to export. And so we need to work on our security, we need to work on our economics, we need to work on our laws to take advantage of this. And since the headquarters is in Ghana, I will take an interest in working with these countries on diplomatic lines to ensure that there is free movement of these goods and services indeed, so that we can take advantage. In respect of the 24-hour economy, our business is to take advantage of AFTA and other trade agreements so that we can export most of the things that we produce. And so I think that these are some of the measures that we'll put in place to ensure that we benefit from our.
Thank you very much. Your last question.
Thank you, Chair. So a friend tells me the 24-hour economy is abstract. And we are also considering issues of synergizing industrialization and the trade sector. And then looking at the one district, one factory initiative, how do you intend to bring some value addition to all of this?
Thank you very much. There are low-hanging fruits with 24-hour economy. And I'll use my constituency as an example, Techiman North. We have a company called Obapak. It is into the business of adding value to onions, ginger, tomato, and what have you. We also have Tubodom. We have Arowa, where we produce a lot of tomato and pepper. These are rain-fed agriculture practices. Again, they are not into commercial contract farming. Can you imagine that under the 24-hour economy, when you give me the nod and I launch the Feed the Industry program, and we are able to resource farmers within this enclave to engage in commercial contract farming in tomato and pepper, Obapak will automatically do a 24-hour shift. One job, 3 people, 3 shifts. It will happen because there will be availability of onions, so much so that one shift cannot work on it. You need more shifts to do it. So you see how practical this is. And it will create a lot of jobs in that locality. Akomadan has a lot of tomatoes. If we engage them to enter into commercial contract farming, they will be able to feed Obapak. And then the 3 shifts will happen in earnest with availability of raw materials. So this is a practical policy, easy to execute, and we are going to do exactly that.
Thank you very much. You have exhausted your 3 questions, but you want to follow up on the 3rd one in relation to 24-hour economy. Please do.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much for your goodness. Mr. Chair, just to find out in very plain terms, what does it mean to say we have a 24-hour economy?
Thank you very much. I would say that relative to the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, we will have a 24-hour economy when our industries are producing around the clock. And we've said that that will happen in 3 shifts. And so if you have Obapak and other companies, manufacturing companies, working 3 shifts, they'll be working within the 24-hour economy. That is in terms of the ministry that have been nominated to head. In other economies also, or in other areas like banking, like other government institutions, they can do more than a shift. The passports, the DVLA, they are all companies that can, or they are all agencies that can do the 24-hour economy by working more than one shift. And so basically, the 24-hour economy is when we are all working and we are working around the clock. That is jobs that can be done around the clock. It doesn't mean that if you are a tomato farmer, you should be working 24 hours in the bush in the night where there are no lights. But it will happen to where you can work 3 times. It will happen at where you can work 3 shifts. And so we say 1 job, 3 people, 3 shifts. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's now the turn of... Yes.
Okay. Just wish you well, and I pray everything goes well for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's now the turn of Honorable Patrick Yaobuama.
Thank you very much, Chairman, and let me congratulate my sister on her appointment. But I have 3 very difficult questions for her. Let's see how she deals with them. That's how I'm packing my stuff well, so I can have a very close look at her. Lizzie, we want to increase government revenue, and the best way to do that is to increase our exports, which will go a long way to have a stronger or better effect on our currency. You know, our CD has been performing not too well on the international market. The trade figures between Ghana and the EU, and even Ghana, America, and other trade partners, not been doing so well. There was a 3% dip in our revenues between the EU and Ghana. It was reported by the outgoing minister, Honorable Katie Amon, between when he addressed the Ghana EU delegation in Ghana. Most of the issues they raised were on standardization, child labor issues, the use of chemicals, some unapproved chemicals in the cultivation of some of our crops, and what have you, I know. What are some of the things we are going to do to reverse these challenges, to ensure that we derive utmost revenues from our exports, and to protect our exporters from being banned on the EU and American markets? Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question, Honorable Chair. Yes, it is right that we need to do the right things to have access to international markets. And so there will be conscious efforts with the Ministry of Agriculture to ensure that approved chemicals are used, because at the end of the day, it will be detected. And if you work so hard and your produce and products do not land at the international market as you intend, you'll be doing yourself a disservice. And so we work on the approved chemicals so that at the end of the day, we will qualify for the standards. Child labor issues must also be addressed through the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. And so I'll be working closely with the Minister for Gender and Social Protection and Children and Social Protection to ensure that the issue of child labor is addressed. As for standardization, we need to up our game as a country. Sometimes, lack of knowledge. And so if we do capacity building, we should be able to fall within the standards. When all these things are done right, our exports will go up, the intended revenues will be received, and then at the end of the day, we will have a stabilized economy. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. I don't have a follow-up question on that. I'll go straight to my second question on cross-border trade challenges. Most of our traders go to Togo, Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina, and the Sahelian belts to bring in goods into our market, some from China and the rest of the world. We all know of under-declarations at the ports and other entry points. You can blame the politician, you can blame government officials, high-ranking ones and low-ranking officials, traders, the security agencies. We are all culpable. Minister of Trade, how do you intend collaborating with the security agencies to stem this very bad practice that I just mentioned? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Certainly, it will not only be with the law enforcement agencies, it's also be with the Ministry of Finance. I'm not an economist, but I know that when we are charged reasonable taxes, people pay. Not everybody is interested in evading tax, but if it becomes burdensome, then there is the attractiveness to evade it. So I think that there should be a national dialogue on our taxation so that many more people will pay. I am sure if the taxes are not that exorbitant and all of them pay, we may get more than we are collecting. So a lot of things has to go in to ensure that people declare exactly what they are bringing into the country, pay the right fees, and it will be much more easier if the taxes are not exorbitant. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman. I don't have a follow-up question on that one too, but a very last question, and I'll congratulate my sister. Lizzie, the Exim Bank was set up under the NDC. Roxanne, do you know the question? You are not a member of the committee. The main challenge of the Ministry of Trade today is their low financial support. Since 2014, when EDF was converted to the Exim Bank, the ministry relied on their share of 1% from the inspection companies. It was not forthcoming. West Blue came in because of tussles between ministers of trade and finance. It was moved to Ministry of Finance. The Ministry of Trade ought to hire the best technocrats to write the best proposals and have the right dealings with our multilateral and bilateral partners. How are you going to reverse this trend to ensure that you get the best of sources in terms of personnel and even cash from the Ministry of Finance to hire the best to assist you achieve all the laudable objectives under your manifesto, printed in green? Thank you. Congratulations. I'm not going to talk about the Green Book.
Well, instead of a tussle between the ministers of trade and finance, mine will be collaboration between myself and the Minister for Finance. I'm sure in so doing, we'll get all what it takes to implement our manifesto for Ghanaians. I thank you.
Chairman, we will see what we can do. And I wish you the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's now the turn of Honorable Roxanne Nelson Eche Dapamopo.
I'm a bona fide member. Chairman, thank you very much. Oh, that's opposition attack. You know, it's opposition attack.
Hold on. Sika, do you know the capacity in which you ask your questions? Please, Honorable Roxanne, proceed.
Chairman, thank you very much. Anthony Izzy, you are welcome and congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, I know your abilities, and I know that this particular ministry, where the president saw it fit to add agribusiness, you will deliver.
I thank
You
you.
will deliver. I have 3 issues. I've been associated with the Trade and Tourism Committee for some time, and I understand the issues. 1, in respect of the Ghana Standards Authority, in Act 1078, and all the airlines that we passed for them, including the National Quality Policy, as well as the what we call the Product Certification Guidelines. There's no provision that mandates the GSA to extend the shelf life of products. And yet, GSA in recent times has the penchant for extending the shelf life of products that clearly have expired, to the extent that the Auditor General has taken some of these matters up and reported on them. It's a breach of 1078. What steps will you take as the sector minister to ensure that GSA as a regulator does not indulge in such conduct? At 1078. Please. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ghana Standards Authority is there to ensure that we abide by standards. It will be ironical for them to be flouting the rules of standards. I have not seen the report, but I'm sure when I'm giving the nod and I assume work at the ministry, I will take note of this dealing and ensure that no illegality is condoned in any of the agencies that will be under me. Thank you.
Any further question?
Brilliant. Chairman, that is so. My other concern is in respect of reports regarding dwindling revenue mobilization efforts at our ports and across our land borders in respect of the use of ICOMs. It's on record that from 2003, when the then system that was in place, the GCNet system, in 2003, GCNet made 249 million. In 2004, it did 603 million. In 2011, it did 3.7 billion. In 2012, it did 4.7 billion. 2015, it did 9.7 billion. 2018, it did 16.3 billion. But since it got replaced, the performance of the ICOMs, the new system that has been installed, has downsized in terms of performance and revenue generation. As the sector minister, and in consultation with the minister responsible for finance, will you consider reviewing this policy and to reinstate GCNet as it is?
Thank you very much for the question. It is obvious that I've not gone to the ministry yet. Again, it is also obvious that we don't know the reason for the dwindling numbers. There is nothing at this point to tell me the reasons why the numbers have come down. And so once I start work, when I'm giving the nod, I'll look into it and make sure that at the end of the day, Ghana is the winner. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any further questions?
Yes. My final question. That's a brilliant answer, I must say. Now, my constituency is Sabdine. We are quite rural. In Peki Agbate especially, we had an agro scheme called the Agbate Farm System. It's in a deplorable state now. That's why I'm happy the agribusiness has been added to your ministry as by way of policy initiatives. Will you consider reviving some of these state-sponsored agro-based farms, like Peki Agbate farms, Peve Agric farm, and Kwadaso, Nkranza, and all that? My brother has provided some, especially where support for operating such agro-based businesses are very key to reviving and promoting activities in the rural areas to prevent the rural-urban influx of our youth, and also, as it were, to give oxygen to the 24-hour economy programs. Will you consider doing that for us? I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. These are some of the programs that I can say yes before I start work, when I'm giving the nod, because already the Feed the Industry project is there, and especially with these farms that have large tracts of land, they are good to go and they can fill in easily, because we are interested in commercial contract farming, and if the facility is there, revamping it shouldn't be a problem at all. I thank you.
Chairman, thank you very much. That will be all for the nominee for me.
Thank you very much. We move to the turn of Honorable Ranking Member.
Chairman, I wish the nominee well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I now give the floor. Order. I now give the floor to Honorable Ricket Hagan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable nominee, Mrs. Elizabeth Ofosu Adjare, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Honorable.
Looking at your CV, your experience and background, I know you will do well at the ministry. May God bless you, and I wish you well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable members. For the Minister Designate for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, the following guests are seated to give moral support. Nana Kweku Jan Buoku II, Ofuma Traditional Council, Ofuma Traditional Council, Nana Yebua Kokua III, Awuwahini and Jasehini of Techima Traditional Council, Nana Ofosu Adjare, Kwasihini and Mawrehini of Techima Traditional Council. Mawrehini. Very well, very well. I will base it on your pronunciation and move on.
Next, I'll give that for good.
4. Nana Kwesi Konedo, Aya Suhuni. 5. Nana Kwesi Chui Mumpong II, Masidan Hini. Nana Yebua Ameyao II, Timponin Hini. Nana Yebua Ameyao Kokoroko Hini. Nana Intim Abua Tuabore Tuabodom Manhini Tuabodom Manhini Adontihini Techima Traditional Council. Dr. Lawrence Ofosu Adjare, husband of the nominee. Most Reverend Father Pius Frimpong, Our Lady of Calvary Grotto Techima. Justice Dennis Adjare, Justice of the Court of Appeal. Lawyer Kwame Osu Adjare, President Ashanti Regional Bar Association. Siblings of the nominee, Chairman Abubakar Sadiq and Techima North Constituency Executives. Honorable Annie Osei Okra, Mr. Agolozo, former NDC Chairman, the representative of GUTA and representative of Association of Ghana Industries. You are welcome. Okay.
Elizabeth, extend my warmest regards to my Lord Adjare, Dennis Adjare J.A. Extend my warmest regards to him.
Thank you, leader.
I know he's here, but I'm saying extend your warmest
Yes,
regards,
exactly what
not
I'm
for the
going to do.
records.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'll do exactly that.
Your application granted. Extend my warmest regards to him.
Okay, now we know.
The leader is on record by saying not for the record.